I was 20 years old, working part-time as an Uber driver while attending university. One evening, I decided to take one last ride before calling it a day. The pickup was about 10 minutes from where I lived, so I accepted it. The rider's account was listed under the name Emily. When I arrived at the pickup location, a man in his 50s got into the car. I asked if he was the ride for Emily. He nodded and said, "Yes, my wife booked it for me." He went on to explain that he was about to meet a woman he'd been talking to for a few weeks, and this was the first time she agreed to go out with him. At that moment, I was confused because he had just said his wife booked the ride for him, but I didn't think much of it and continued with the trip. After about a 15-minute drive, I dropped him off at a house where a young girl, who looked like a minor, was waiting for him. I sat there, a bit puzzled, and pretended to wait for another ride. As I observed them, I realized he was meeting with the young girl. Guilt and fear washed over me, especially because she appeared to be around the same age as my sister. I watched as she looked visibly uncomfortable, and the man was practically forcing her to go inside the house. My heart started racing, and I knew something wasn't right. Without thinking twice, I drove away and immediately called the police. I was shaking, terrified, knowing he had bad intentions. When the police arrived, they found the girl crying and quickly arrested the man. It turned out that he and his wife had been involved in similar incidents before. Both were arrested, and I felt a huge sense of relief for having called the police.